What are Manchester United's medical staff doing? Wait until you hear this injury list that I've got for you. It's absolutely shocking. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. Today, we are going to discuss the big elephant in the room, the biggest elephant in the room, and that is the medical staff at United. What on earth is going on this season? It's absolutely mental. We had Fabrizio Romano drop a bombshell last night saying Man United's Lisandro Martinez and Victor Lindelof will be out of action for at least a month. Muscle injuries for the Argentinian and Swedish defenders who hope to return before the end of the current season. Now, that's 55 recorded injuries this season for Manchester United. 55 recorded injuries. Something is seriously wrong with that medical. I don't know what's going on, but the butcher has now become the butchered. That's the line that I'm going to go with today. I don't know. I don't have a clue. It's utter madness. I don't know this about this doctor. It seems like our medical department was bad, right? Before this Gary O'Driscoll or whatever the head of medics is called. I think he came over from Arsenal. He's come in and he's made it 10 times worse. And that's gone from it being really bad to then even, like, how could it possibly get worse when it was awful in the first place anyway? If we want to take it down conspiracy road, I personally believe he's going around fucking Carrington with a lump hammer just smashing people's knees in or thighs or groins, or because the majority of the injuries are mad, absolutely mad. I'm going to go through them in a minute, but the main debate at the moment is a lot of people saying it's muscle strains, so it's the intensity of the training, and I know this could be down to training, could be down to player management, and the style of play, quite frankly, is chaotic and frantic, and we know there's been a lot of briefs from players as well stating this, putting it out in the media that they think or they believe that the workload is too much. Now, I saw a video yesterday of Ten Hag on an interview. I would have put it on here, but I would have got done for copyright, saying that, you know, the levels of the Premier League in terms of intensity and running stats go up every single year, and it's going by bigger jumps now. So obviously he's trying to get him ready for that kind of level, and some of the players have taken it on. You'll see that when I go through the injury record. But also a lot of them as well have struggled to adapt. And I will admit that obviously high intensity and lack of rotation will always result in injuries. But it's the amount that's overwhelming. That's what I want to get into today. If you look at, you know, other teams like Luton, Palace, Brentford, Sheffield, Newcastle, they all have injuries in double figures, or at least absences that are close to that, right? I think United, I don't know, we haven't currently, but it's quite a few. Ten Hag himself isn't responsible for, you know, clearing players. Let's get that out there first and foremost. And the individual rehab plans are set by the medical department. So these guys are coming back and saying, yeah, this guy's ready, this guy's ready, this guy's ready. Look at what happened recently with Casemiro, right? That is a prime example. When the medical department declared him fit, he had to double check with another department. He ended up going away, and he was like, yeah, you probably shouldn't have played because you could have pulled your hamstring again. So they clearly don't have a clue what they're doing. I know Cavani had issues when he was here. Even players like Pogba and Schweinsteiger and all these other guys all complained about the medical staff. Individual managers, Jose, Ragnick, others as well, always had issues with it. So, you know, if Ineos are doing this kind of deep inspection and, you know, kind of looking at it from top to bottom, this is something that needs sorting. You'll get the people in there, the niche kind of crowd going like, oh, it's the manager. It's definitely on the manager. And maybe he takes responsibility a bit. I'm not saying that he doesn't. But come on. Look at the situations that we've had this season. It's like, and we always rush, or we have a tendency at least, to rush key players back. We always do it. Like, obviously, the Brentford one was kind of, what do you do? Because Lindelof and both Rafael Varane went down. So it's like, well, do you take a risk? I think it was still 0-0 at that point. Was it? I'm pretty sure. So, and Brentford were battering us. So do you take a risk and say, you know what, Lisandro, you stay on the bench, mate. I don't know who else was on the bench at the time. Fucking, who's on the bench? Amrabat, get ready, mate. You're going at centre-back. And like, kind of risk it like that. They kind of had to throw Lisandro in there. But I actually don't think Lisandro got that injury from the Brentford game. I think it was from a training session, if what I've read is correct. So again, and you also look at other teams as well. Liverpool play this heavy metal football, and even in their peak injury hit season, when they was wearing like T-shirts for Van Dijk and he was complaining about it all season. I think it was 2020 to 2021. They had a total players of 23 players who missed one game through injury. 23 players. We've got double that. Just eat that for a second. In Liverpool's worst injury hit peak season, we have got double that right now. Mad. Utter madness. I know they had like absences and stuff like that, but I'd go as far to say that we must at least be breaking a record, or at least close to it, for the most injuries. I tried looking it up yesterday. There's no stats, there's no record anywhere, which I get because it's a bit of a weird record to keep, and it's obviously a record you don't want. But we've got to be close to it. We have to be at least close to it. If there's someone out there who knows the record, I mean, there's always someone with some sort of like wacky stat. Do get it in the comment section and let me know. I'm gonna go into the the injuries that we've had this season, like the specific ones, because I took the liberty. As soon as I saw that news about Lisandro Martinez yesterday and Lindelof, I was like, right, fuck this. I'm gonna go check all the injuries that we've had. I'm gonna go write them down, and I'm gonna go through them with the people of the community, the people of the channel. So I'll go through them very, very shortly. I'll just read out a couple of comments. It's a case of the physios or a case of heavy training from the coaching staff. I think it's probably a blend of both, to be honest with you. That's what I'd probably say. It's not his fault. I think you allude to Eric Tenak. Arguably, 3 teams you hate the most going for the title. Tough deciding who you want to win it. It's like asking who you want to do your misses, isn't it, mate? Not your personal misses. I'm just saying, like, yeah. Looks like our staffing overhaul is going well. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Please do share this live if you can. Smash a like. Is the green screen meant to be working? No, it's not. It's meant to be off. Because I'm live on YouTube as well, where the green screen's off as well. Just to chat. I'm just chatting with you guys. There's no green screen needed or any of that. So, yeah. Right, let me pull the YouTube chat up. See what's going on there. And then I definitely will go through the thing there. Why is it not coming up? I don't know why. I can't even get it up. That's what he said. I'll have to go through this way. Sorry, be 2 seconds. Let me just pull this up. There we go. Maybe that's the next department Ineos will sort out. Is Rafa going to play Chelsea or is he out? Rafa? Oh, Rafael Varane. I'm not sure. There's a bit of a weird thing going on with Varane at the minute, isn't there? I don't know what the crack is or what the script is. Going on about concussions. Apparently the injury weren't too bad that he picked up against Brentford. So I don't know. Anyway, let's dive into this list because I have a big list here. Keepers. Yeah. Tom Heaton, calf injury, 38 days. Buy-in day, unknown, 12 days. That's just 2 goalkeepers. That's fine. Centre-backs. Lisandro Martinez, foot injury, 105 days. He comes back. He gets reset again. He comes back. He's got another muscle injury for he gets a knee injury, where Kufal lands on him. He's out for 56 days. And then he gets a muscle strain, out for 28 days. Rafael Varane, unknown, 27 days. And he's had, a couple of tweaks here and there. Johnny Evans, hamstring strain, 27 days. Victor Lindelof, groin injury, 57 days. Muscle strain, 28 days. Harry Maguire, groin injury, 42 days. And he's had a couple of little niggles as well. And again, I appreciate the comment saying you can't escape injuries. I know injuries happen. It is. But you can't tell me this is normal. It isn't normal, the amount that we've had. It's fucking completely collapsed our season. Obviously, the performances, tactics, people are bringing... That's fine. That's all. I all agree with you. But I'm just specifically speaking about medical injuries, yeah? We go to wing-backs. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, hamstring injury, 44 days. Unknown, 72 days. Luke Shaw, muscle injury, 92 days. Luke Shaw, muscle injury, 44 days. Tyrell Malacia injury, 259 days. The Malacia one has been mad. The last time he played was for the Netherlands in mid-June. He's been out... when he comes back, he'll be out over a year. Which is a long, long time for a new signing, a young kid. He's had a couple of setbacks with knee surgery and stuff. Luke Shaw, equally, he's been at the club for a long, long time now, 9 years, but his injury record's getting worse and worse. I think he's been available for 60% of the games in total whilst he's been at this club. 60% of his games. Midfielders, Mainu, ankle injury, 87 days. Amrabat, unknown, 30 days. Eriksson, knee injury, 41 days. Mason Mount, unknown, 37 days. And then he got a calf injury for 110 days. Casemiro, 83 days. And he would have had another one on top of that as well had he'd gone and played for United when the medical staff cleared him and said, yep, you're absolutely fine. Don't worry about it, Carlos Casemiro. You can play, pal. No, let me just double check this with this medical team in Brazil or whoever it was. No, you shouldn't play because you could have pulled your hamstring again. So we have incompetence throughout that field. To be honest, we have incompetence in a lot of areas at the club, but this has been a huge talking point, and this has been bubbling for a while. And this is why I wanted to do one show about it today, because I could have easily gone live, spoken about news, spoken about other things that are ongoing. I mean, there's plenty of news floating about, but this is something that needs addressing right now. So we might as well talk about it. Wingers, Amad Diallo, knee injury, 126 days. You know, one thing, that's a common theme as well. There's a lot of muscle injuries in there, but there's a lot of knee injuries. Seen a lot of knee injuries in there. Ahmad had a knee injury. Eriksson had a knee injury. Malacia had a knee injury. Someone else had one as well. I can't remember who else it was. So, yeah, Ahmad was out for a good chunk. Martial was ill for about 4 weeks. Or what seemed like he was just kind of a bit of unknown there. Groin surgery, 42 days. He's had adductor surgery, I think. There's something going on with his adductors. It's just like lower down. Sorry about that shake. Højlund, back injury, 30 days. Hamstring strain, 16 days. Muscle injury, 14 days. I think the only players that haven't been had a long-term injury, if I'm not mistaken, is Onana, Dalot, Bruno, Rashford, Garnacho. I think Garnacho only had one small injury. Last season, I think it was. Has Rashford been injured this season? These were all off transfer market, so these are all off online. So there might be one or two that I've missed, or a couple of ones that they've not been able to clarify. Because what Erik ten Hag does with injuries, he tends to go off. If you get asked about it, he'll just say, it is what it is. I'll be back, and don't like giving information out on this. And apparently, this stems back to 1 second. Yeah, apparently this stems back to when he was in the Netherlands, and it's more of a culture kind of thing over there where they don't give out too much information so players don't target him. I think it was something to do with that. So obviously if they say, Mount's coming back with, he's just had a big knee injury or shoulder surgery or whatever, and, a team's playing and they're like, look, he's going to be weak on this side, give him a bit of a shove, give him a bit of this, kind of Mourinho-esque tactics. That's one of the reasons why he doesn't clarify injuries. But it's frustrating for us fans because we've been sat here all season putting Malacia's face on a milk carton saying, where the fuck is he? No one has a clue where he is. No one has a clue what injury it is, what's happening, why is he not back? And likewise with a lot of the injuries that we've had, there's just no clarification on it whatsoever. And maybe that, that's kind of their jurisdiction if they want to do that, but it leaves us fans in the dark in that sense, doesn't it? So the main point of this is we keep rushing players back. Our most important player, Lisandro, has been rushed back multiple times and had numerous setbacks. The question I want to ask is, why did he go off with Argentina? Was no one else thinking that at the time? We're going into the international break. We then get a tweet that comes up and it says, Lisandro's going away with Argentina. And you're scratching your head saying, why? Why? Why does he need to go away there? Why can't he just stay at Carrington and do his thing there? I don't understand it. I don't get it. If I'm the boss of United, I'm saying, no, Leacher, stay here, work on your recovery. We've got 12 games left, 12 very important games left to try and scrape Champions League and win an FA Cup. We need you here, mate. You recover here. We'll make sure you get... Well, saying that, he's probably like, fuck that. I don't trust your staff, mate. You rushed fucking numerous players back before and he's got injured again. So, in that sense, I don't blame him, but it's mad. It's mad. He is by far our most pivotal player. By far, in terms of the way we want to play. The difference between him starting in a team and Johnny Evans starting in the team, stylistically, is night and day. The same thing with Luke Shaw there as well when we're having to play fucking Lindelof there. And Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka does a job if he's locking down a player, but in terms of ball progression, you know, and playing through the lines and stuff like that, you know, again, Luke Shaw, Wan-Bissaka, night and day. So we have to change up our whole system in terms of the way of play. We can't fully press up the pitch. That creates gaps. And this is why Erik ten Hag's had this problem all season. He wants to play a certain style. You can't play that with the personnel that he's got. So then he has to make adjustments, and that has effects. You know, teams kind of exploit this. It's mad. It's mad. Like I said, he's gone from the butcher to the butchered. When he was at Ajax, yeah, he was out for 9 days at his time whilst he was at Ajax. Whilst he's been at United now, he's been out how long? Let me have a look. 105 days, 56 days, 150 odd days so far. He's going to be catching up to 200 effectively. So how can you go from only ever having one significant or one small injury at Ajax to now? Obviously, the Premier League, more intensity, more back and forth. The transitional style at United is a bit crazy and frantic and hectic, so that's got something to do with it. But it's definitely the medical staff as well. We had a situation where Ten Hag was told by the medical staff he could send Reguilón back. I think we all remember the left-back situation where the medical staff said, yeah, don't worry about it. Malacio and Shaw are both going to be back in January. You can send Reguilón back on loan because you're not going to need him as left back, and he's going to be a bystander and he's going to be stood about, you know, picking his nose. So Ten Hag's gone, yep, no worries. We'll sort that. That's fine. If we can let him go back. He goes back, and then we're fucking sat there picking our arse, saying, what the fuck's going on? Why we've got no left backs? We're playing Lindelof at left back. We're playing Amrabat there. Like, it's just a nightmare. Johnny Evans was brought in to play a handful of games, and he's ended up playing 18 matches for us. Mad. I want to get into the comments now for people saying, when you're live, you're supposed to read and reply to comments. I will read and reply to comments when I want, mate. Don't fucking try to tell me when to read. There's not even that many comments anyway. You can't escape injuries. We'll see you on April the 7th. I don't know who that is. Who do we play April 7th? Liverpool. Yeah. It's a case of physios, and I've already read that out as well. So, Marky Mark, I don't know what you're on about. I don't know what you're talking about. Love how people on Twitter are saying players are soft. Yeah, let's not look at the workload, the amount of games being played, and extended injury times it takes to toll. And you're seeing it now. Lyric De Silva says it's both the manager playing style and the medical staff. Players run marathons every game. Imagine what training intensity would be like. Well, this, again, you can go down to specific tactics, right? So someone like Garnacho, for example, who looked knackered in the last game, if you look at the space that he was covering, it's an unhealthy amount. And the reason why he was doing that is because the wing-backs aren't committing to the press. So when we're putting 5 players up and we've got a system, the players at Brentford, the centre-backs, are just looking, just knock it over there. Go to the wing-back. Watch the game. It happens throughout the full game. The press is disjointed. It's all over the place. And when it isn't organised and communicated, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Lumen, there should be a third option on the poll for both. Yeah, I do apologise about that. I should have put both, shouldn't I? But I did put a poll up saying, is it on the manager or the medical staff? 15% of you said the manager. 85% of you said the medical staff. So a lot of you are unhappy, and rightfully so, with the medical staff. Didn't United sign Rasmus and Mount while they were still injured? Yeah, so Amrabat, I think, arrived with a back problem. Then Rasmus Højlund, I think, arrived also with, he had like something inflamed, I think it was, in his like lower back, which can still happen, like whilst he's playing now. And we've not been able to manage him because Martial hasn't been fit. So Rasmus Højlund has been the only fit striker at the club, which means we've had to play Rashford there. And everybody knows Marcus Rashford as a number 9 is poo, absolutely poo. So that's another kind of hindrance on the team. Mainu, equally, been launched into the side as a 6 or an 8 in difficult circumstances at different stages. He's almost been forced with his development, and it's quite lucky that he's landed on his feet because he's someone that we need. He's someone who's become almost a senior player in the squad when he's only played 15 games. He's played 15 games for United, 2 games for England, and he's become a pivotal, important player and playing better than Casemiro and Eriksen and all these guys. Mad. So there is, when we always talk about it's context to this when, you know, rival fans are discussing Erik ten Hag, calling him a fraud. Even our own fans, some of our own fans calling him a fraud and da-da-da. I get some of it because the style of play is blood pressure FC, and it is when you're watching it, you're just like, oh my God, it's back. When you can see the 31 shots to Brentford, it's scary, and you understand it. But I genuinely believe this, and people might call me stupid, but I think when we have everyone fit and available, you will see this tactical setup come on leaps and bounds if Ten Hag gets a chance. I get it. A lot of people will disagree with that, and everyone has the reasons why. Yeah. Do you read comments? Mate, I've read every comment. What are you on about? What are you talking about? You've not even put one, Dylan. Forget any signings. Give Lindelof a lifetime contract for however much he wants. Well, Lindelof's out for a month, so he's another one who's on the injury list. Jamie Gong saying, easy Nick, been a while, moved housework, madness. I hope you're good, Jay. Nice to see you in the chat, mate. I hope you're well. I think the facilities have a lot to do with it, mate. But yeah, the squad is thin too. Well, I'm sure Ineos and Co are working on this and then doing a deep dive because it's mad at it, what's going on at the minute. Yeah, man, grinding, try not to let United ruin our lives. That's the one. That is the one. We've got issues at the club. We've got issues. I hope when we go into the summer, the reason why I keep referencing the summer every show I do, because I think it's fascinating, the overhaul that's going to happen. I want to see how cutthroat they're going to be with players leaving and players, what type of players that they bring in. So transfers, first and foremost, is going to be interesting. The infrastructure, they're already working on behind the scenes. You know, they're looking at, I think Jason Wilcox has just resigned from Southampton, so we're working on that, and we should get him in quicker than the whole Dan Ashworth situation, because I feel like that's going to go on for a while. So that's another kind of hindrance. But if they want a specific guy, you've got to push for it that way. So I understand it in that respect. Omar Barada's obviously, I think he's still on gardening leave technically, but then can start work in May or June. So he knows Jason Wilcox very well. And them two will hopefully be working together over the summer. Hopefully there's been a complete revamp of the medical staff, because since that Gary O'Driscoll's come in as head of medical, it's just gone tits up. It's gone, awful, really, really bad. So they need to do an overhaul of that. They need to think about the stadium, but that's one where it's long term. It's not immediate in the summer. Need to take a look at contracts. What kind of players do they want to get rid of? Do they want to get rid of your Casemiros? Do you want to get rid of your Rafael Varanes? These boys on big contracts. Are you going to be able to sell big players like Anthony? What's going to happen with the manager? What managers are going to be available over the summer? Will we get Champions League? That's obviously going to have... We're definitely not going to get Champions League, I'll tell you that first and foremost. But that's obviously something that we're striving towards, and financially changes the landscape of how we're going to operate in the summer. So there's a lot of things there. A lot of things for Ineos to look at. And Dave Brailsford and Co and all these guys. It's a tough job. It's a tough job because there's a lot of issues to get through. A lot of cobwebs that need to be cleared. I honestly don't think Ten Hag will survive. I've got a feeling they've already made their mind up. Hope he stays though. Yeah, a lot of fans feel like that, don't they? Typically, when a new ownership comes in, you've seen it with even some of the clubs in the Premier League now, like they want their own guy. They have a vision, and it's more of how the club operate. Like the manager becomes a coach in that sense, and then the structure all above him work on everything else. So it almost becomes a unit that manages the team rather than just the coach, if that makes sense. And that's the kind of path that Ineos are going to take. I've seen multiple reports on that. So yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of question marks at the minute, and a lot of debate got ongoing about who's kind of responsible for all this kind of shit. So, yeah. What do we do? There's nothing we can do as fans. We just got to hope it gets sorted, because as soon as we get players back, Erik ten Hag mentioned at the start of the year in a press conference, he said, listen, which, by the way, Erik ten Hag press conference, I think, is in 25 minutes, I think. So, yeah, I'll keep an eye out for quotes coming out from that. I'll see if I can go live as well. What was I saying? Yeah, he said at the start of the year in the press conference that when I get all my players back fit and available, you'll see we'll start winning games. No problem. And he did. He didn't lose in like 7 or 8. I think it was. Got some, you know, won at Molineux, won at Villa, had some tough games that he won. And then players go out again and the system capitulates. So I have no other reason to believe that it won't be the same if we got all our players back. But the issue is we're not going to have them back now. Lisandro and Lindelof are out for another month. So January, March, April, May. So last games of the season. Same thing with Luke Shaw. Molassi's not going to play again this season, I don't think. Excuse me. Maguire's been here or there. Varane's been here or there. Casemiro, I don't know what's going on with him. He came back in the last game, so he should be up to speed, and I'm hoping he can stay fit to the end of the season, unless he decides to fucking snap someone and get a red card. Rasmus has been okay at the minute, so hopefully he can stay fit. We're going to need these players because we are dragging ourselves across the line, much like we was in the Rangnick season when we was discussing all this nonsense. We're dragging our bodies across the line. I think Champions League obviously gone now. I know Tottenham dropped points to West Ham yesterday, but we ain't getting it. When we perform like we do against Brentford, we're going to struggle against Chelsea, and then we've got Liverpool at the weekend, so you can definitely kiss Champions League goodbye. There's not a chance we're getting that. Not a chance. The only hope is the FA Cup. Really, that's where we're at. The FA Cup, and if we get City in the final, I'm sorry, I know it's negative, and I know people say it's a final, anything can happen, you know, all that kind of stuff. I appreciate that, but come on, look at the way we're performing at the minute. There isn't much hope at all. So I'm interested to see what Ten Hag says in his press conference today, because I'm sure he's going to get asked questions about the medical staff. I'm sure he will be. Someone's got to poke the bear with that, hasn't they? So I want to see his response to that. I want to see his update on players, who's available, what the crack is, and what's going on. There's going to be some interesting insight in there. So make sure you keep an eye on our socials. Make sure you subscribe to Real Reds Talk if you haven't done already. If you're live on TikTok watching me, the link is in the bio. And we go live every single day. We have different formats of content. So please do check us out. Smash a like on the video if you think the medical department are absolutely shite. And yeah, I suppose I'll see you guys in the next one, yeah? Take it easy.